Welcome to 101 random facts that will blow your mind. So relax, get comfy, and let's dive right in. Number 1. Spiders have a fascinating circulatory system that uses hemolymph, a clear or bluish fluid, instead of red blood. Unlike humans, whose blood gets its red color from iron-rich hemoglobin, spiders' hemolymph contains copper-based hemocyanin, which helps transport oxygen. Since they have an open circulatory system, their blood flows freely inside their bodies rather than being confined to veins and arteries. This unique adaptation allows them to survive in various environments with minimal oxygen requirements. Number 2. There are no muscles inside your fingers. Instead, their movement is controlled by tendons and muscles located in the palms and forearms. The muscles in your forearm contract to pull on tendons, which act like strings to move your fingers. This anatomical setup allows for intricate finger movements and grip strength without making the fingers bulky. It's the same mechanism that enables pianists, surgeons, and artists to perform incredibly precise and delicate movements with their hands. Number 3. A portmanteau is a linguistic blend of two words, forming a new one with combined meaning, like brunch from breakfast and lunch. Though the word portmanteau itself is not a portmanteau, it originates from French, where it refers to a suitcase with two compartments. English has many famous portmanteau words, including smog, smoke plus fog, motel, motor plus hotel, and glamping, glamorous plus camping. These words evolve naturally in language as people find creative ways to describe new ideas or concepts. Number 4. Ghost bats, native to Australia, are among the few bat species with white fur, which gives them a spectral appearance in dim light. Unlike most bats, which have darker fur for camouflage, ghost bats rely on their incredible echolocation skills to hunt insects, frogs, and even other bats. Their large ears help detect faint sounds, making them effective nocturnal predators. Despite their eerie name, ghost bats are crucial to maintaining ecological balance by controlling insect populations. Number 5. Phasmophobia is the intense fear of ghosts and the supernatural. People with this phobia may experience extreme anxiety when discussing spirits, watching horror movies, or being alone in dark places. The fear often stems from cultural beliefs, personal experiences, or an overactive imagination. Some psychologists suggest that phasmophobia may be linked to an evolutionary survival instinct, where humans developed a heightened awareness of unseen dangers to avoid predators in the wild. Number 6. What's inside a Kit Kat? Interestingly, broken Kit Kats that don't pass quality control during production are ground up and mixed with cocoa and sugar to form the creamy filling between the wafers. This recycling process reduces food waste and ensures that every Kit Kat bar has its signature texture and flavor. So, when you bite into one, you're not just eating a chocolate-covered wafer, you're enjoying a sustainable treat made from other Kit Kats. Number 7. A cockroach can survive for over a week without its head. This is because cockroaches don't rely on their brain to breathe. Instead, they have small openings called spiracles along their body that supply oxygen directly to their tissues. They only die after about a week due to dehydration, since they can't drink water without a mouth. Their ability to endure extreme conditions makes them some of the most resilient creatures on Earth. Number 8. A 3,000-year-old mummy can still have identifiable fingerprints. The preservation process used in ancient Egyptian mummification prevented decay by removing moisture and using drying agents like natron salt. Because of this, some mummies still retain detailed skin impressions, including fingerprints. This allows modern forensic experts to study ancient individuals, helping to uncover their identities, causes of death, and even aspects of their daily lives. Number 9. A man once sculpted a statue of himself using his own hair, teeth, and nails. This bizarre work of art was created by an artist who wanted to make a self-portrait using only materials from his own body. It highlights the unusual and sometimes unsettling ways artists push creative boundaries. Hair, nails, and teeth are all made of keratin, a protein that remains intact long after a person has died, making it an eerie yet lasting form of self-expression. Number 10. The Asian vampire moth is one of the few insects that drink the blood of animals. Unlike typical moths that feed on nectar, these moths pierce the skin of mammals, including deer and even humans, to consume blood. Scientists believe that male vampire moths develop this behavior to extract extra minerals needed for reproduction. Despite their eerie feeding habits, these moths pose no serious threat to humans and are more of an unusual curiosity in the insect world. Number 11. About 99% of the human body is empty space. This mind-blowing fact comes from the nature of atoms, which make up all matter. Atoms consist of a tiny, dense nucleus surrounded by electrons that orbit at vast distances relative to their size. If you could remove all the empty space from atoms, the entire human race could fit into the volume of a sugar cube. This highlights the strange and counterintuitive reality of quantum physics. Number 12. Exploding head syndrome is a rare sleep disorder that causes people to hear extremely loud noises, like explosions, gunshots, or crashing sounds, just as they are falling asleep. Despite its alarming name, the condition isn't dangerous and doesn't involve actual explosions. Scientists believe it may be caused by a misfire in the brain's auditory system, as it transitions between wakefulness and sleep. Many sufferers describe the sensation as a sudden brain boom with no external source. Number 13. 90% of the cells in the human body aren't actually human. Our bodies are home to trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which outnumber our own human cells by a staggering margin. These microscopic organisms, collectively known as the microbiome, play essential roles in digestion, immunity, and even mental health. Without them, humans wouldn't be able to survive, proving that we are more of an ecosystem than a single organism. Number 14. Pineapple contains an enzyme called bromelain, which breaks down proteins. This means that when you eat pineapple, it's actually digesting you back. Bromelain is so powerful that it's used as a meat tenderizer in cooking. This enzyme also has anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties, making pineapples not just delicious but also beneficial for health. However, it's the reason why eating too much fresh pineapple can cause a tingling or burning sensation in your mouth. Number 15. Astronomers have identified a mysterious force pulling all galaxies toward a single point, known as dark flow. Unlike dark matter or dark energy, which are well-established concepts, dark flow remains unexplained. Some scientists believe it could be caused by massive structures beyond the observable universe, exerting a gravitational pull on everything we see. This phenomenon challenges our understanding of the cosmos and suggests there may be unseen regions of space influencing our universe. Number 16. Chickens can spontaneously change sex from female to male. This rare occurrence happens when a hen's single functional ovary becomes damaged or stops working. Since chickens have both male and female reproductive tissues at birth, the dormant male tissue can activate, causing the hen to develop male characteristics like a larger comb, wattles, and even the ability to crow. However, these male chickens usually remain infertile and cannot father offspring. Number 17. Astronaut Scott Kelly drank 730 liters of his own sweat and urine to stay hydrated while living aboard the International Space Station for nearly a year. NASA uses advanced filtration systems to recycle water, turning astronauts' waste fluids into clean, drinkable water. This closed-loop system is essential for long-term space missions, where water resupply isn't an option. Kelly's experience demonstrated the importance of sustainable resource management for future space exploration. Number 18. Bees, like humans, enjoy addictive substances such as caffeine and nicotine. Studies show that caffeine, found in some flowers, enhances bees' memory, helping them remember which plants to visit. Meanwhile, nicotine affects their behavior, making them more likely to return to certain flowers. This mutual benefit helps plants get pollinated while keeping bees energized. However, just like in humans, too much of these substances can have negative effects on bee health. Number 19. Scientists have successfully tricked people into believing they are invisible using virtual reality illusions. By synchronizing visual and touch stimuli, researchers can make participants feel like their body has disappeared. This illusion is created by showing the person an empty space where their body should be while simultaneously touching them in a way that aligns with what they see. These experiments help scientists understand human perception and could have applications in therapy for anxiety disorders. Number 20. Helium, which makes up about 24% of the known universe, is a non-renewable resource on Earth, and we are rapidly running out of it. Since helium is lighter than air, it escapes our atmosphere into space, making it impossible to recover. Helium is essential not just for balloons, but also for cooling medical MRI machines and running high-tech scientific equipment. The shortage has led to rising costs and concerns over future supply. Number 21. Freshwater snails are among the deadliest creatures on Earth, killing up to 20,000 people per year. They transmit a parasitic disease called schistosomiasis, which infects millions of people, primarily in tropical and subtropical regions. The disease spreads when people come into contact with contaminated water. Symptoms range from fever and fatigue to severe organ damage. Despite their harmless appearance, these tiny snails pose a serious global health threat. Number 22. Dead bodies can get goosebumps. This happens because the tiny muscles at the base of hair follicles, called arrector pili, contract when exposed to cold or certain stimuli, even after death. This contraction is part of the body's natural post-mortem changes as rigor mortis sets in. In life, goosebumps are triggered by adrenaline, causing hair to stand on end for warmth, or as a reaction to fear. After death, chemical processes cause similar effects temporarily. Number 23. The largest pumpkin ever recorded in U.S. history weighed an astonishing 2,258 pounds. It was grown by Steve Geddes in New Hampshire in 2018 and set a national record. Competitive pumpkin growing is a serious hobby, with some farmers dedicating months to nurturing their giant gourds. These massive pumpkins require careful feeding, watering, and even shade protection to reach such enormous sizes. The world record, however, is even larger, exceeding 2,700 pounds. Number 24. Pumpkins are classified as a fruit, not a vegetable. Botanically speaking, a fruit develops from the flower of a plant and contains seeds, which pumpkins do. This makes them relatives of cucumbers, melons, and squash. While they are often used in savory dishes like soups and stews, their natural sweetness makes them a favorite in pies and desserts. Interestingly, every part of a pumpkin is edible, including the skin, flesh, seeds, and even the leaves. Number 25. The fastest jack-o'-lantern carver in the world is Stephen Clark, who set the Guinness World Record by carving a pumpkin in just 16.47 seconds. His lightning-fast technique involves making precise cuts with special tools, allowing him to complete a simple jack-o'-lantern face in record time. Pumpkin carving has evolved from a Halloween tradition into a competitive sport, with contests held worldwide for speed, artistry, and creativity. Number 26. A 1970 study found that children are more likely to steal when they are wearing costumes. This psychological phenomenon is linked to the concept of de-individuation. When people feel anonymous, they are more likely to engage in behavior they normally wouldn't. Wearing a costume or mask can reduce self-awareness and responsibility, making individuals more prone to mischievous or dishonest actions. This finding has been applied to studies on crowd behavior and online anonymity. Number 27. Albert Einstein's brain was preserved after his death in 1955. A pathologist named Dr. Thomas Stoltz Harvey removed it during the autopsy. Hoping to study what made Einstein so intelligent, he sliced the brain into pieces and sent samples to researchers around the world. Studies revealed that Einstein's brain had an unusually high number of glial cells, which support neurons, and unique structures that may have contributed to his remarkable cognitive abilities. Number 28. The Empire State Building in New York was the tallest building in the world from 1931 until 1971. Standing at 1,454 feet, including its antenna, it was the first skyscraper to exceed 100 floors. It was built during the Great Depression in just over a year, a remarkable feat of engineering. Today, it remains an iconic symbol of New York City, attracting millions of visitors who admire its Art Deco design and breathtaking views. Number 29. Contrary to popular belief, the Great Wall of China is not easily visible from space with the naked eye. Despite the myth, NASA has confirmed that the wall is too narrow and blends into its surroundings. Astronauts have reported that it is much harder to see than other human-made structures, like cities at night. The idea that the Great Wall is uniquely visible from space dates back centuries but has been debunked by modern space travelers. Number 30. The first footprints on the moon will remain there for at least 1 million years. Since the moon has no atmosphere, there is no wind, rain, or erosion to disturb them. The only forces that could erase the Apollo astronauts' tracks are micrometeorite impacts or future human activity. This means that Neil Armstrong's historic first step in 1969 is likely to remain imprinted on the moon's surface for an incredibly long time. Number 31. Female spiders often eat their male counterparts after mating. This behavior, known as sexual cannibalism, occurs in many spider species, including black widows and orb weavers. Scientists believe it provides the female with extra nutrients to help her produce healthy eggs. Some males attempt to avoid being eaten by offering food gifts, mating quickly, or even playing dead. However, in many cases, the female still ends up making a meal of her mate. Number 32. 1 million Earths could fit inside the Sun. The Sun has a diameter of about 864,000 miles, making it 109 times wider than Earth. Its immense volume means it could hold approximately 1.3 million Earths if they were packed tightly. Despite its size, the Sun is considered an average-sized star compared to giant stars in the universe. It provides the heat and light necessary for life on Earth and will continue burning for another 5 billion years. Number 33. Even in an airplane, a trip to Pluto would take about 800 years. The dwarf planet is an average of 3.7 billion miles from Earth. The New Horizons spacecraft, which traveled at speeds of 36,373 miles per hour, took nearly 10 years to reach Pluto. By comparison, a commercial airplane flying at around 500 miles per hour would need nearly a millennium to make the journey, showing just how vast our solar system is. Number 34. Ham the astrochimp was the first hominid in space, launched on January 31st, 1961. Before sending humans, NASA tested spaceflight on animals to study the effects of microgravity. Ham was trained to push levers and perform tasks to demonstrate that primates could function in space. His mission was a success, and he returned safely to Earth. Ham paved the way for human space exploration, leading to the first manned U.S. spaceflight just months later. Number 35. Neptune's days are only 16 hours long. Despite being the farthest planet from the Sun, Neptune rotates on its axis very quickly, completing a full spin in about 16 hours. This rapid rotation contributes to its extreme weather patterns, including the fastest winds in the solar system, which can reach speeds of over 1,200 miles per hour. These winds create massive storms, such as the Great Dark Spot, a hurricane-like system observed in Neptune's atmosphere. Number 36. It takes 8 minutes and 19 seconds for light to travel from the Sun to Earth. Light moves at a speed of about 168,000 miles per second. So even though the Sun is roughly 93 million miles away, its rays reach us in just over 8 minutes. This means that when we look at the Sun, we're actually seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. If the Sun were to suddenly disappear, we wouldn't notice immediately. Number 37. A neutron star can spin up to 600 times per second. These stars form when massive stars collapse in on themselves, creating an incredibly dense object with a diameter of about 12 miles, but more mass than the Sun. Because of their rapid rotation and strong magnetic fields, neutron stars emit beams of radiation, which can be detected as pulsars from Earth. Their extreme speed and density make them some of the most bizarre objects in space. Number 38. Jupiter is the fastest spinning planet in the solar system, taking only about 10 hours to complete a full rotation. Despite being the largest planet, its rapid rotation creates powerful storms, including the famous Great Red Spot, a storm that has been raging for over 200 years. This fast spin also flattens Jupiter slightly at the poles, making it an oblate spheroid rather than a perfect sphere. Number 39. Sound does not carry in space. Unlike on Earth, where sound waves travel through air, space is a vacuum with no medium for sound to move through. This is why astronauts in space communicate via radio waves, which do not require air to travel. If two astronauts were floating outside their spacecraft, they wouldn't be able to hear each other, no matter how loud they screamed. Number 40. The Earth's core is as hot as the surface of the Sun. The temperature at the core is estimated to be around 6,000 degrees Celsius, which is nearly the same as the Sun's outer layer. The intense heat comes from residual energy from the planet's formation, radioactive decay, and immense pressure. This heat drives Earth's geology, causing volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and the movement of tectonic plates. Without this fiery core, our planet would be geologically dead. Number 41. The very first animals sent into space were fruit flies. In 1947, American scientists launched these tiny insects aboard a V-2 rocket to study the effects of radiation at high altitudes. The flies were chosen because of their biological similarities to humans, and they surprisingly survived the journey. Their successful mission paved the way for larger animals, like monkeys and dogs, to be sent into orbit, eventually leading to human spaceflight. Number 42. In 2011, 10-year-old Catherine Aurora Gray made an incredible discovery. She spotted a supernova that no one else had seen before. A supernova is a massive explosion that occurs when a star reaches the end of its life. Catherine became the youngest person ever to discover one, proving that anyone, even a child, can make groundbreaking contributions to science. Supernovae are vital because they spread elements that help form planets, including Earth. Number 43. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, has saltwater geysers that shoot over 100 miles, 160 kilometers, into space, making them 20 times taller than Mount Everest. These geysers are evidence of a massive subsurface ocean beneath Europa's icy crust. Scientists believe this ocean could potentially harbor alien life, making Europa one of the most exciting places in the solar system for future exploration. NASA plans to send a spacecraft to study it in the 2030s. Number 44. Saturn's rings are made of trillions of pieces of ice and rock. These particles range in size from tiny grains to massive chunks the size of mountains. Scientists believe the rings could be the remnants of a destroyed moon or leftover debris from the planet's formation. Despite their stunning appearance, Saturn's rings are relatively thin, only about 30 feet, 10 meters thick in most places, making them one of the most delicate structures in space. Number 45. Garlic bulbs are nutritional powerhouses. They contain vitamin C, iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc, and 17 amino acids essential for human health. Garlic has been used for centuries in medicine due to its antibacterial and antiviral properties. It's known to boost the immune system, lower blood pressure, and even help prevent colds. Ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans believed in garlic's healing power and often fed it to soldiers for strength in battle. Number 46. On the remote South Atlantic island of Tristan da Cunha, potatoes were once used as currency. The island's isolation made it difficult to access traditional money, so locals traded goods and services using potatoes instead. This unusual form of currency highlights the importance of local resources in isolated communities. Even today, the island remains one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth, with only a few hundred residents. Number 47. The strawberry is the only fruit that bears its seeds on the outside. Unlike other fruits that keep their seeds hidden inside, strawberries have about 200 seeds on their outer surface. Interestingly, each tiny seed is considered an individual fruit, meaning a single strawberry is actually an aggregate fruit made up of multiple small fruits. Strawberries belong to the rose family, which also includes apples, cherries, and raspberries. Number 48. Coffee became popular in America after the Boston Tea Party of 1773. Following the protest against British tea taxes, drinking tea was seen as unpatriotic. So many Americans switched to coffee instead. This shift helped coffee become a staple of American culture. Today, the U.S. is one of the largest coffee-consuming countries in the world, with millions of people relying on their morning cup of joe to start the day. Number 49. The double coconut palm produces the largest seed in the world, weighing up to 20 kilos. Also known as the coco de mer, this massive seed takes up to 6 years to fully mature. It was once believed to have magical properties due to its unusual size and shape. Found only on a few islands in the Seychelles, this rare palm is now protected to prevent overharvesting. Number 50. Ice cream was once called cream ice. When it first became popular in Europe during the 1600s, it was known by this simple name. The dessert gained fame in royal courts, especially in France, where King Louis XIV was a big fan. Over time, the name evolved into ice cream as the frozen treat became more widely available. Early recipes were labor-intensive, requiring constant churning and ice mixed with salt to freeze the mixture. Number 51. Pound cake got its name because the original recipe called for a pound of each ingredient: flour, butter, sugar, and eggs. This simple formula made it easy to remember, even for those who couldn't read. First recorded in the 1700s, pound cake became a staple in many households due to its long shelf life and rich flavor. Over time, variations have emerged, including lighter versions, with added ingredients like vanilla, lemon, or baking powder. Number 52. Peanuts aren't nuts. They are actually legumes, meaning they belong to the same plant family as beans and lentils. Unlike tree nuts, peanuts grow underground in pods. Despite this, they are commonly grouped with nuts due to their similar taste and nutritional profile. Peanuts are packed with protein and healthy fats, making them a popular snack around the world. Interestingly, peanut plants are unique because they flower above ground but produce their seeds underground. Number 53. Carrots weren't always orange. They were originally purple, white, and yellow. The orange variety we know today was selectively bred by Dutch farmers in the 16th century as a tribute to the ruling House of Orange. Purple and yellow carrots still exist and can be found in specialty markets. Different colors contain different nutrients. Purple carrots are rich in antioxidants, while yellow ones have extra lutein, which is good for eye health. Number 54. Cherries are part of the rose family. They belong to the Rosaceae family, which also includes peaches, apples, pears, and raspberries. This explains their delicate flowers and sweet fragrance. The cherry tree's blossoms are especially famous in Japan, where they are celebrated in the annual Sakura Festival. Beyond their beauty, cherries are packed with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that may help reduce muscle soreness and improve sleep quality. Number 55. Lima beans can call wasps for help. When insects start eating their leaves, lima bean plants release chemicals that attract parasitic wasps. These wasps lay their eggs inside the pests, ultimately killing them. This defense mechanism helps protect the plant without needing pesticides. Scientists are studying these natural signals to improve pest control in agriculture, potentially reducing the need for chemical sprays. Nature truly has some fascinating survival strategies. Number 56. Apples float in water because they are 25% air. The pockets of air inside the fruit make them less dense than water, causing them to bob to the surface. This unique property is why apple bobbing became a popular Halloween game. The air also helps keep apples fresh longer, making them one of the most widely stored and transported fruits worldwide. With over 7,500 varieties grown across the globe, apples are truly a versatile fruit. Number 57. Ripe cranberries bounce like rubber balls. This is because they have tiny air pockets inside, much like apples. Farmers use this trait to sort ripe cranberries. If they bounce, they are ready to eat. The air inside also makes them float, which is why many cranberry farms use water to harvest the berries efficiently. These small but mighty fruits are packed with antioxidants and are known for promoting urinary tract health. Number 58. German chocolate cake isn't German. It's actually named after an American baker named Samuel German, who developed a type of dark baking chocolate in 1852. The cake itself, featuring layers of chocolate, coconut, and pecans, was first popularized in 1957 when a Texas newspaper published the recipe. The name confusion continues today, but the dessert remains a beloved classic in American baking. Number 59. Cilantro and coriander come from the same plant. In the US, the leaves of the plant are called cilantro, while the seeds are known as coriander. However, in many other parts of the world, both are simply called coriander. This herb is widely used in Latin American, Indian, and Asian cuisines. Interestingly, some people have a genetic trait that makes cilantro taste soapy, which explains why it's a love it or hate it ingredient. Number 60. Spam is a portmanteau of spice and ham. This canned meat product was first introduced in 1937 and became a staple during World War II due to its long shelf life. Today it is especially popular in Hawaii, where it's used in dishes like Spam musubi, a sushi-like snack. Spam's reputation has evolved from a wartime necessity to a beloved comfort food enjoyed in many different cultures. Number 61. Alpha Centauri isn't a single star, but a star system. It consists of 3 stars: Alpha Centauri A, Alpha Centauri B, and Proxima Centauri. The closest of these, Proxima Centauri, is 4.22 light-years away, making it the nearest known star to Earth outside our own sun. Scientists have discovered an exoplanet in this system, leading to speculation about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Number 62. One day on Venus is longer than an entire year on Earth. Venus has an incredibly slow rotation. It takes 243 Earth days for Venus to complete one full spin on its axis. However, it only takes 225 Earth days for Venus to orbit the Sun. This means that a day on Venus is actually longer than a year there. If you lived on Venus, you could technically celebrate your birthday before a full day had passed. Number 63. Jupiter's Great Red Spot is a storm that has been raging for over 200 years. This massive, swirling storm is so large that Earth could fit inside it 3 times. Scientists believe it has existed for at least 350 years, but it has been slowly shrinking. The storm's reddish hue is thought to come from chemical reactions in Jupiter's upper atmosphere, possibly involving sulfur and phosphorus compounds. Number 64. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on Earth. Scientists estimate that the observable universe contains at least 200 billion trillion stars. This is far greater than the number of sand grains on all of Earth's beaches and deserts combined. Many of these stars have planets orbiting them, making the potential for alien life even more fascinating. Number 65. Despite their size, submarines are always called boats rather than ships. This is a long-standing naval tradition. One theory is that early submarines were small enough to be carried on larger ships, earning them the name boats. Even modern nuclear submarines, which can be over 500 feet long, still retain this title. Another theory is that submarines operate in a different way than surface ships, diving below the waves rather than sailing on top of them. Number 66. Hedy Lamarr was not just a Hollywood actress. She also helped invent modern Wi-Fi. During World War II, she co-invented a frequency-hopping communication system to prevent enemy forces from jamming Allied radio signals. Though it wasn't widely used at the time, her technology later became the foundation for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. Today, she is recognized as both a film icon and a pioneering inventor. Number 67. Walt Disney started drawing regularly when he was just 4 years old. His passion for art led him to create the world-famous Mickey Mouse in 1928, launching one of the most successful entertainment companies in history. Disney's love for storytelling and animation revolutionized the film industry, bringing us classics like Snow White, Cinderella, and The Lion King. His legacy lives on through Disney parks and films that continue to inspire millions. Number 68. Abraham Lincoln lost 5 separate elections before becoming President of the United States. His persistence paid off in 1860 when he won the presidency and later led the nation through the Civil War. Despite facing numerous setbacks in both his personal and political life, Lincoln remained determined. His resilience serves as a reminder that failure is often just a stepping stone to success. Number 69. Pablo Picasso entered art school around the age of 10. His talent was recognized early, and by the time he was a teenager, he was already creating professional-level artwork. Picasso went on to become one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, co-founding the Cubist movement and producing over 50,000 works of art. His ability to reinvent his style throughout his career set him apart from other artists. Number 70. Frederick Douglass taught himself to read and write. Born into slavery, Douglass secretly learned to read by trading bread for lessons with white children in his neighborhood. He later escaped slavery and became a leading voice in the abolitionist movement, delivering powerful speeches and writing influential books. His autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, remains one of the most important accounts of slavery in American history. Number 71. Before European contact, California's indigenous tribes spoke over 200 unique dialects. The The state was home to one of the most linguistically diverse populations in North America. However, due to colonization and forced assimilation, many of these languages have disappeared or are now endangered. Efforts are being made to revitalize and preserve them, as language is a vital part of cultural identity and history. Number 72. Amelia Earhart first saw an airplane at age 10, but didn't fly in one until she was 23. Despite this late start, she went on to become the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean in 1932. Earhart was a pioneering aviator and an advocate for women in aviation, inspiring generations of female pilots. Her mysterious disappearance in 1937 remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. Number 73. Abraham Lincoln was a professional wrestler long before he became the 16th President of the United States. Before entering politics, Lincoln was known for his towering height, 6 feet 4 inches, and impressive strength. He competed in nearly 300 wrestling matches and was only defeated once. His skill in the ring even earned him a spot in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. His physical prowess, combined with his sharp wit, made him a formidable opponent both in debates and in the wrestling ring. Number 74. After landing in Ireland following her first solo transatlantic flight, Amelia Earhart was asked where she was from. When she answered America, the farmer she spoke to almost didn't believe her. On May 21, 1932, Earhart became the first woman to complete a solo flight across the Atlantic. Her journey from Newfoundland to Northern Ireland took nearly 15 hours, and she battled strong winds, mechanical issues, and extreme fatigue. Her courage and determination cemented her status as a pioneering aviator. Number 75. Frederick Douglass's birth name was Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey. He was born into slavery in 1818, but after escaping to freedom, he changed his last name to Douglas to avoid being recaptured. He chose the name after the hero clan in Sir Walter Scott's poem, The Lady of the Lake. Douglas went on to become one of the most influential abolitionists in history, advocating for the rights of African Americans and women. Number 76. Frida Kahlo created 143 paintings, and 55 of them were self-portraits. The Mexican artist often painted herself as a way to express her pain, resilience, and identity. After a severe bus accident at age 18, she suffered from chronic pain for the rest of her life. Kahlo's work, full of symbolism and surrealism, made her one of the most celebrated artists of the 20th century. Today, she is a feminist icon and an inspiration worldwide. Number 77. Babe Ruth was the first baseball player to hit a home run in an all-star game. This historic moment happened at Chicago's Comiskey Park in 1933. Ruth, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, hit 714 career home runs and helped popularize baseball in America. His legendary status extends beyond sports, as his name is still synonymous with greatness and power, hitting today. 78. Some tornadoes can be faster than Formula One race cars. The most extreme tornadoes have been recorded moving at speeds of over 300 miles per hour, while Formula One cars typically max out at around 220 miles per hour. These powerful storms can level buildings, uproot trees, and toss cars like toys. The tri-state tornado of 1925, the deadliest in United States history, traveled over 219 miles, making it one of the longest-lasting tornadoes ever recorded. 79. There are 2,000 thunderstorms on Earth every minute. Thunderstorms occur when warm, moist air rises and cools, creating clouds that generate lightning, thunder, and rain. At any given time, approximately 16 million thunderstorms happen worldwide each year. The most active place for thunderstorms is Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela, where lightning strikes about 260 nights a year. This area is home to the Catatumbo lightning, a nearly continuous electrical storm phenomenon. 80. The wind is silent until it blows against something. Wind itself has no sound, but when it collides with objects, trees, buildings, or even your own ears, it creates vibrations that we perceive as noise. The eerie howling of wind during storms is caused by its interaction with surfaces, shaping its tone and intensity. Some of the strongest recorded winds were during Tropical Cyclone Olivia in 1996, with gusts reaching 253 miles per hour in Australia. 81. There are ice caves in Iceland that have hot springs. Iceland, known as the land of fire and ice, has unique ice caves formed by melting glaciers, some of which contain geothermally heated pools. The Vatnajökull Glacier, one of Europe's largest, has stunning blue ice caves that shift and change each year. In places like the Grjótagja Cave, hot springs maintain warm water temperatures, creating a surreal experience of soaking in warmth while surrounded by ice. 82. The fastest recorded raindrop was 18 miles per hour. Raindrops fall at different speeds depending on their size. The smallest droplets, called drizzle, can fall as slowly as 1 mile per hour, while larger drops reach speeds up to 18 miles per hour. Despite their speed, raindrops never fall faster because air resistance balances gravity's pull, preventing them from becoming dangerously fast projectiles. 83. The United States gets over 1,200 tornadoes a year. The United States experiences more tornadoes than any other country, mostly in Tornado Alley, a region stretching from Texas to South Dakota. The peak tornado season varies by region, but typically occurs in spring and summer. One of the most active years for tornadoes was 2011, with over 1,600 tornadoes recorded, including the devastating Joplin, Missouri EF5 tornado that caused significant destruction and loss of life. 84. Lightning can strike the same place twice. Despite the common saying, lightning frequently strikes the same locations multiple times, especially tall structures. The Empire State Building in New York is hit by lightning around 25 times per year. This occurs because lightning seeks the shortest path to the ground, often choosing high and conductive objects like trees, towers, and skyscrapers as its target. 85. Clouds look white because they reflect sunlight from above. Clouds are made of countless tiny water droplets that scatter sunlight. While some light is absorbed, most is reflected in all directions, making clouds appear white from the ground. When clouds grow denser, less light penetrates them, turning them gray. This is why storm clouds, which are packed with water, appear much darker before rain begins to fall. 86. Yuma, Arizona gets over 4,000 hours of sunshine a year, making it the sunniest place on Earth. This desert city enjoys bright sunshine for about 90% of the year, making it an ideal location for agriculture and solar energy. In contrast, the South Pole is one of the least sunny places, receiving sunlight for only half the year, with the rest of the time plunged into total darkness due to Earth's tilt. 87. Rain contains vitamin B12. While rain is mostly made up of water, it can also contain small amounts of dissolved nutrients, including vitamin B12, which is essential for brain function and red blood cell production. The presence of this vitamin in rainwater is due to microorganisms in the atmosphere. In some regions, especially those with high bacterial activity in the air, rainwater may contain more nutrients, making it beneficial for plants and ecosystems. 88. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the sun. When lightning strikes, the air around it can heat up to a staggering 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This intense heat causes the rapid expansion of air, creating the shockwave we hear as thunder. Lightning is powerful enough to split trees, fuse sand into glass, and even start wildfires when conditions are dry enough. 89. A hurricane releases enough energy in 1 second to equal that of 10 atomic bombs. The power of a hurricane is almost unimaginable. As warm ocean water fuels these massive storms, they release heat and moisture into the atmosphere. This energy is equivalent to setting off 10 atomic bombs every second, making hurricanes one of the most destructive natural forces on Earth. The strongest hurricanes can produce winds over 200 miles per hour and cause catastrophic damage. 90. It can be too warm to snow, but never too cold. Snow forms when moisture in the air freezes into ice crystals. But if the temperature is too warm, the snowflakes will melt before reaching the ground. However, no matter how cold it gets, snow can still form if there is enough moisture present. In places like Antarctica, where temperatures drop below negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit, snowfall is rare because the air is often too dry. 91. Tropical storms and hurricanes started getting named in 1953. Before this, storms were often identified by their latitude and longitude, which was confusing. The World Meteorological Organization began using names to improve communication and warnings. At first, only female names were used, but in 1979, male names were added. Some devastating storms, like Hurricane Katrina, have had their names permanently retired due to the destruction they caused. 92. You can tell the weather by counting a cricket's chirps. Crickets are nature's little thermometers. Their chirping rate increases with the temperature because their metabolism speeds up in warm weather. A simple rule is to count the number of chirps in 15 seconds, then add 40 to estimate the temperature in Fahrenheit. This phenomenon, called Dolbear's Law, has been scientifically tested and is surprisingly accurate. 93. Worms wiggle up from the ground when a flood is coming. When the soil becomes too saturated with water, worms are forced to surface because they rely on oxygen, which gets depleted in flooded soil. Some scientists believe that worms also come to the surface during rain because the vibrations mimic the movement of predators like moles, causing them to escape. This natural behavior helps aerate the soil and provides food for birds and other wildlife. 94. Some tornadoes can be invisible. While most tornadoes are visible due to the dirt, debris, and condensed water they pick up, some can remain nearly invisible if they form in dry conditions. These so-called clear air tornadoes can be extremely dangerous because they are difficult to see until they begin causing damage. The wind speeds within these tornadoes can still reach over 200 miles per hour, making them just as destructive as their more visible counterparts. 95. Snow can be different colors, not just white. While we typically think of snow as white, it can sometimes appear in shades of blue, pink, green, or even purple. Blue snow occurs when light is scattered through densely packed ice crystals, while pink or red snow, known as watermelon snow, gets its color from algae that thrive in cold environments. In some polluted areas, snow may even appear gray or brown due to dust and soot in the atmosphere. 96. Raindrops are not actually teardrop-shaped. Despite the common belief that raindrops look like teardrops, they are actually shaped more like hamburger buns as they fall. Small raindrops are nearly spherical, but larger drops flatten out due to air resistance, sometimes even taking on a parachute-like shape before breaking apart into smaller droplets. The misconception likely comes from the way artists depict rain in cartoons and illustrations. 97. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was negative 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. This frigid record was set in Vostok, Antarctica, in July 1983. At such extreme temperatures, human skin can freeze in less than a minute, and boiling water instantly turns to ice when thrown into the air. Even colder temperatures have been detected in Antarctica from satellite data, with some areas reaching negative 144 degrees Fahrenheit. 98. A rainbow can occur at night. These rare nighttime rainbows, called moonbows, happen when moonlight reflects off raindrops, just like sunlight does during the day. Because moonlight is much dimmer than sunlight, moonbows often appear white or pale in color to the human eye. They are most commonly seen in places with frequent rain and bright full moons, such as Hawaii and Victoria Falls in Africa. 99. Fire tornadoes are real, also known as fire whirls or firenadoes. These spinning columns of flames form when intense heat causes rising air to twist into a vortex. Fire tornadoes can reach temperatures of over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and spread flames over long distances. They are especially common during wildfires and have been known to lift burning debris into the sky, creating even more fire hazards. 100. The Sahara Desert was once a lush green landscape. About 6,000 years ago, the Sahara was covered in grasslands, lakes, and even forests. This period, called the African Humid Period, was caused by shifts in Earth's orbit that brought more rainfall to the region. Today, evidence of this green past remains in the form of ancient cave paintings, fossilized fish, and dried-up riverbeds, showing that the desert was once teeming with life. 101. The piano was originally called the gravicembalo col piano e forte. Invented by Bartolomeo Cristofori in the early 18th century, its original name means harpsichord with soft and loud, in Italian, referring to its ability to play both quiet and loud notes, something earlier keyboard instruments couldn't do. Over time, the name was shortened to pianoforte, and eventually just piano, Today, the piano remains one of the most versatile and widely played instruments in the world.